They say if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Now, I'm not afraid to admit in the past, I did not love what I was doing, but I was absolutely determined to change that because I've known for a very long time that I can do anything I put my mind to. And with grit and determination, I've become a beachcombing YouTuber. And while I cannot express how much joy this brings me, I can certainly share my morning commute with you. There are some mornings when I'm on a boat taking me to some fabulous island that the way the sunrise lights up the sky and reflects on the water that just makes me happy to be alive. And this was one of those mornings where I tried to catch the sun peeking up over the mangroves on my trip to Keewaydin. Now, the only way to get to Keewaydin is on a boat, so I'm enjoying the view while breathing in gratitude as I show up to the office and get ready to go to work. So I have arrived here on Keewaydin. The tide is going out. It's going to be low tide in about an hour or so. Well, it's about 6:38 now. Let's go ahead and check in on those tides. So yeah, dead low is going to be about 8:12 a.m. It's a little chilly, but I'm not complaining. I'm in the water. It's warm enough to be in the water, so that's good enough for me. Okay, a lightning whelk. Now pay attention to the lightning whelk because it has an opening on the left side, in addition to it being absolutely gorgeous. Now, the fact that the opening is on the left side, we are going to talk about that later. And without giving you too many spoilers, Keewaydin is going to allow us to meet some fabulous creatures, as well as some gorgeous seashells. And I am finally going to answer that age-old question, how does a spiny jewel box get its spines? So if you're ready to see what Keewaydin has in store for us today, let's go to the beach. Now, I will admit, even though I do advise people to not show up with high expectations, I was really hoping to find some great seashells. And this is definitely something I would consider to be a great seashell. So it's a shark eye moon snail. Oh, it's a big one. And I don't typically find them this big, so that's very exciting. So super happy and kind of hopeful at this point. Like, okay, that was a good one. There's got to be other great stuff out here too, right? Now, check out that lightning whelk. That's probably about the size of the one that we had just picked up. And I said, notice that it's opening on the left side. Look at this. So that little guy can grow up to be that. But that's not even the biggest snail in North America. The biggest snail in North America is the Florida horse conch. And I will show you a small version of that in a little bit. So the sun is still trying to kind of peek up. The tide is low. There's a big expanse on the south end of Keewaydin, so I'm kind of like in that area. Oh, look at you. So this is a fighting conch. They come in all different colors and, well, not really a lot of patterns. This one just happens obviously to be just kind of a single orange color, and you get kind of spiky, and so it's beautiful. Now, I called it a fighting conch because I used to call it a Florida fighting conch. And they used to say there was a West Indian fighting conch and a Florida fighting conch, like this juvenile here. Well, they went and they did some DNA testing, and turns out that there is not two species. It truly is only one. And since the West Indian fighting conch had its name first, that's the name that wins. So for me, it's going to be hard to kind of give up the Florida part. I'm still kind of working on that. I don't know I ever will. Look at the spots. So spots are fantastic. That is an alphabet cone. Now check out the way that the spire, the little pointy part, it's kind of flat except for the center of it. So the alphabet cones are a little bit different than some of the other cones we have down here. But that is a fabulous alphabet cone. Hopefully this is fabulous. Oh, it's a lettered olive. We're going to get to say hi to one of those. I do adore They are the jewels of the sea. They come naturally glossy sometimes with their little spike, at least over here in Southwest Florida. Now that is an example of the Florida horse conch. So that is the largest snail in North America. Is that I was gonna say, is that a cone or is that a banded tulip? And I have decided I do really want to learn some of the scientific names. So I'm going to kind of bring that back into the video as well. So the banded tulip, also known as the Cinctura hunteria. So we'll be learning, in addition just to the common names, some of the scientific names. So the common name for that shell, it's got a couple. It's a zigzag arc or turkey wing. I just like to call it fabulous. It's in great shape. For a shell that's a little bit bigger, those shells they go through a bit. They usually are a little bit beat up. Now there is a sandbar all the way out there. I was kind of hoping to explore. I'm waiting at this point because I'm here before low tide. So kind of just shelling the lowish tide, waiting for it to go all the way out and see if I can kind of make it out there. Oh, a trail that's leading to a Cinctura hunteria. I have decided that the orange versions of those creatures are my favorite. That one's alive. I'm going to leave that one alone. See if we can find something empty. Oh, more spots. Okay, I was just moving something out of the way. So that is a Florida cone. And it's a little different than the alphabet cone. The point kind of graduates up to a point. It's not flat with like that spike in the center. So that's a Florida cone. Oh, and it's orange. Yep, I've decided those are going to be my favorite Cinctura hunteria shells or banded tulip. Oh, I just think they're so pretty. And the oranges are a little more unusual than the other colored shells. Now this looks pretty good. I mean, it looks pretty messy, and that always gets me kind of excited. Oh, there must be stuff here. Well, that doesn't, not necessarily. Let's take a closer look. So it's pretty much your common shells, ponderous arcs, and fighting conchs. The pen shells, those big brown shells are pen shells. Ponderous arcs, yeah, not terribly exciting. So it was messy, but there wasn't all that much, not too many exciting things there. Now, the lightning whelk. The scientific name for the lightning whelk is Sinistropholger sinistrum. That is a lot of sinistrums, right? Well, there's a reason for that, because the word sinistral, it means left-handed or left turning. So the fact that the scientific name of that shell is Sinistropholger sinistrum, I feel very smart when I say that, is kind of understandable with that whole sinistrum thing. So that's a Florida horse conch, that thing I was just kind of holding there, that big old shell, the largest sea snail in North America. Yay, we have them here in Florida. Very cool. Oh, lettered olives. Yeah, anytime you see those like weird kind of like crescent shapes in the sand at low tide, it's going to be a lettered olive. Yeah, you're not doing all that much, but you see a little, now we'll talk about the siphon in a minute. I wanted to point it out. Let me see if I can get a better example for you. All right, that one's lost. What are you doing? All right, let's see. I'm going to speed this up just so we can kind of see it move. So its foot is kind of undulating under there. And then the siphon up here. All right, granted, not the best example. I'll show you a better example later, but you want to see something really cool? They had a live one at the Sanibel Shell Show. Look at the siphon. It's way longer than the animal itself. I've never seen anything like that. I thought that was cool as heck. I busted out my camera because I had to record that. And of course I needed to share because I just thought it was so cool. So live lettered olive with a crazy huge siphon. Really cool, right? Yep. And so here we go. We can see a little bit of that siphon kind of poking up. Really kind of, oh, so neat. All right, creature, I'm going to put you down. Oh, I'm sorry. Kind of dropped you. There you go. Sorry about that. I did get a little excited. I saw something out of the corner of my eye. So this is a live Pear whelk. And the fact you can see its little bunny ears, clearly they're not ears. They're actually little tentacles. Oh, it's so cool. So this is when I love to see them, not all like tucked into their shells, but out cruising around. And it does have a little head underneath. I can't, just because of the angle. Now look at the siphon on this one. That black thing sticking out the front of the shell, that's the Pear Whelk siphon. Probably sniffing around, hunting down something to eat. So that white body, kind of a plain looking body, and then that yellowish shell, it's probably some periostracum on it. Oh, I thought that was awesome. So live Pear Whelk cruising around looking for a snack. And I checked back in on that olive, and it's already, it's going to go bury itself. And it's funny because like the fancy part of the shell is actually the back of the shell, the posterior part of the shell. And there's more on the ground there. Oh, love the critters. So that's where all these seashells come from. Oh, I guess I should mention that. Somebody had asked me, yes, all of the seashells keep their shells while they're alive. They do not switch out shells. Hermit crabs do that, but snails will keep them. Like a scallop. A scallop will also keep its shells, plural, because it's a bivalve. So that is a calico scallop. I like to call those like the snowflakes of the beach. I know technically no two shells are the same anyway, but I don't know, just because there's so much of a color variation with these scallops. So there's some more lettered olives being lost, kind of doing their olive thing. And I was just thinking, I guess it's a good thing they have those seashells to protect their little squishy bodies. So they kind of have like, it's not an exoskeleton, it's just a seashell. Oh, I see spots. Now, for some reason, it's just a whole lot easier to find alphabet cones here in Key Wade and down in Kais Island, southwest Florida. I just live in Southwest Florida. Awesome. So another beautiful alphabet cone. Yes. And I'm going to grab some glass. I always wear shoes at the beach. I do have a link below if you're interested in any of the other equipment that I use. I do have a link below in the description box. Oh, that was just cruel. Oh no. I really did think I was going to be picking up another beautiful. Oh no, that was terrible. Oh, I know I kind of found one at the beginning of the day, but man, that did trick me. Ooh. Horse conch. Awesome. All right, it is. All right, it's missing its very, very bottom. I don't care. That color is so pretty. Yeah, it's great. That is terrific. So that's a Florida horse conch. Let's check this out. All right, so that is a calico clam. Is it empty? Survey says yes, it is. Terrific. So 2 for the price of 1 on the calico clam, along with that little Florida horse conch. Thank you, Key Waden. Thank you very much. All right, next up we have a very nice apple murex. I was just debating on whether I was going to use the scientific name. We'll just do one critter at a time. So this is still an apple murex. We'll work on the scientific name in the future. Okay, here is a Florida cone. So again, the graduation of that point, I was kind of looking, is it broken on the bottom? Not really, just kind of shaped that way. So cool little Florida cone. Awesome. Yeah, I think we can all agree, even if it was a really terrible shelling day, I still think it's way better than being in an office. So I'm just thrilled that I get to be out here doing this. I do admit sometimes because of the tide, I wish I could be on 2 beaches at the same time. But today I chose Key Waden. And so far, I'm going to say it's being pretty darn good to me. Well, hello, turkey wing or zigzag arc. I do like, the little ones are so pretty because they just haven't had a chance to get all beat up yet. So a lovely little zigzag arc. Okay, here's one of those Sinistropholger sinistrum. So the lightning whelk. Very nice. Now they do use the edge of their shell kind of as a tool, so it's not terribly Uncommon for that aperture, the edge of the shell to be broken. Still great size. So here we have a Sinistrofulgur sinistrum. Olive, lettered olive. Very nice. Again, the opening is going to be on the bottom, right? I know it's weird. I don't know why. No, it's not weird. It is what it is. So that's another lettered olive. And another Florida cone. Bring me the cones. That works for me. Very well-behaved Florida cone. They are typically all sorts of beat up. Oh, okay, and a Cinctura hunteria, along with that Florida cone. Two more beautiful seashells. Oh, I love lumpy beaches. Well, it means that flat beaches are scary because it means there's nothing there. Lumpy is okay. At least there's something here to comb through. Oh, no way! I thought for sure it was only going to be just like a piece. I mean, because at this point I've been here a while and someone should have found that. But I guess that's going to be me. And that's what happens sometimes. So yay! Another alphabet cone. Woohoo! Oh, that's pretty. So that's a bay scallop. Look at the color. Oh, it's very slippery. Very trying to get away from me. All right. Yeah, beautiful. And now I gotta go wash it off. Let's take a look. Little puddle. Fantastic. Oh, it has a little hole in it. I don't care though, I don't think. No, I don't care. The color on that's great. It looks like it's already been dipped in acid for me. Thank you very much. A really beautiful, clean bay scallop. Oh, more spots. Well, I'm fighting for it. Yes. Okay, so all the black is the periostracum, or it's like a protective layer that the snail creates to protect its shell. That black will come off with bleach. Oh, that's a nice looking shell. And clearly it repaired itself at some point. So it did break and then continue to grow and it built its shell. Okay, what all is here? I did see the egg casing. So that is looks to me like lightning whelk. Let's see. Yes. Lightning whelk, the egg casings do look like the pear whelks. Lightning whelks are bigger. I'm curious if there's little babies in there. All right, that does appear to be empty. I don't see other little snails, other little dots in those, and that makes me so happy. Yay! So hopefully there's lots of little baby lightning whelks or the Sinistrofulgur sinistrum shells out there. Okay, another apple murex. Okay, and okay, it's twins. So we have two apple murex shells. Lovely. Both appeared kind of like strawberry blonde. Sometimes they're like blonde, sometimes they're like brunette. Lovely, lovely apple murex. Okay, another little cone. So that's a little dusky cone. They're small. They only get so big, and they also have like lines on the actual outer shell on the bottom of it. So that's a little dusky cone, or indentations, not really lines. So here's a little apple murex, and it is inhabited by a hermit crab. Now, unlike the sea snails, the hermit crabs absolutely change shells. So once that little crab gets too big, or he finds another seashell that he thinks is going to be more appropriate, I honestly think this one's a little big for him or her, but hey, I guess he's got a mansion. So that is an adorable little crab. And always be careful when you're shelling, and something like that would stay at the beach. You don't take anything with any crabs or creatures in the shells. So I'm going to keep looking for something that's empty. Lovely scallop. Now this is 3 calico scallops. Very, very nice. The markings are totally different than the bay scallops. Oh, they're so pretty. So I think I'm gonna pass on that one, and I'm just gonna hold on to these 2 lovely calico scallops. All right. So that's the south end of the island, where basically like all the boat tours and everybody gets dropped off. I'm going to kind of meander a little bit up the beach and think about what else we might find and give you all some beach time. Okay, we have a calico scallop and a couple of barnacles. Now the barnacles look like volcanoes. There's nothing in it. So if you wanted to collect it, it's perfectly fine. You're not taking anything living off the beach. But boy, those barnacles are not very smart. But they sure have very strong marine glue. I mean, once they kind of get themselves on something, they're pretty much there. So this is a typical shell pile. Ponderous arcs, surf clams, mostly ponderous arcs. It's a very predominant, it's a very common shell to the point I barely even mention them. So it was cute, nice little shell pile. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. Basically because I like to be in the water. Like if I can, I like to, yeah. Just kind of feel like the shells are fresher there. Anybody else feel like that? So this is all, it's an egg casing pear whelk. Okay, so pear whelk, a little bit smaller than the lightning whelk. Okay, is there anything in here? Oh, there is. Okay. So hopefully, yeah, those little dark dots, those are little baby snails. Gonna leave that in the water and hope. I mean, I don't know if it's viable. I guess it could technically go either way, but I'm gonna leave it here just to be on the safe side. I want more baby pear whelks in the future, so we'll leave those little snails here. Oh, a sharp ribbed drill. So some of the snails, they will literally drill through the shells of other animals and slurp out the contents. So that little baby probably specializes on other little things. Yeah, just blowing in it just to make sure that I can see it. There's no crabs or anything in there. So that is a little sharp ribbed drill. Calico scallop. Very nice. The horse conchs, a couple things will come in that really, really bright orange color, rose murex, but calico scallops is also one of them. All right, so I'm back at the south point of the island. Yeah, the tide's come in at this point. Totally covered. I was not able to get out to that sandbar all the way out there. It just didn't feel safe. I kind of tried. I'm like, I just abandoned it. So there are plenty of shells over here. And garbage, apparently. Well, maybe not plenty of garbage, but I will remove that from the beach and then go back to, hopefully, whoa, we'll find something decent. Nice shell pile. Okay, and it's likely going to be, it actually looks a little bit more interesting than the one up the beach. Okay, shark eye. Yeah, it is a shark eye. And ponderous arcs. Pretty deep shell pile. Yeah, you're looking at maybe a foot thick of shells. Oh, look at that. That's an apple murex. Now I've already gotten a couple and a little bit bigger that in my opinion are in a little bit better shape, which is why I don't spend a lot of time in the shell piles. I mean, you could. That's a banded tulip. I also found some of those. I think shell piles for people who maybe have mobility problems, or, you know, I don't know if you have a bad back or something. I mean, it's a great option. That is a ribbed cantharus. I was trying to get that to pop in my head. So a ribbed cantharus along with one of the, all right, a banded tulip. So not terrible at all. It's just, I just prefer to wander and look in the water. It's just what I prefer. So what else is here? All right, another calico scallop. Oh, that's very pretty. And a buttercup lucine. It looks pretty buttery from that side. Yeah, I really like those. So buttercup lucine on the left and a calico scallop on the right. All right, what do we got here? Oh, an auger. I do like a good auger. Now, augers are fun. They like to eat worms. They do hunt with like little harpoons. And they bury themselves in the sand since that's where the worms kind of live. So that the shape of their shell is kind of conducive to them burying themselves. And again, that pointy end, that's going to be the end, not the opening or the front of the shell. So this is also a cantharus, but this is a tinted cantharus. Kind of looks, I mean, this one kind of looks like a crown conch to me. All right, for you shell nerds, right? It looks like a little bit like a crown conch, but it's not. It is a tinted cantharus. Okay, a little marginella. Those look like little itty bitty baby cowries. There is actually like an opening on the other side. So it kind of looks like a teeny tiny egg. And then on the opposite side rather, it has a little tiny hole. So, oh, look at that. And a little ribbed cantharus along with that marginella. Oh, would you look at that? So this week it will be a Tampa turrid. I feel like every week I find either, with the exception of when I went to Paso Grill, I find a Sanibel turrid or a Tampa turrid. This week it is a Tampa turrid. So turrids are a family or a type of sea snail. Fun, right? It's a fun little shell. So that's a little Tampa turrid. Oh, lovely little Florida prickly cockle. Yeah. Interiors of them are very, very fun. Didn't find too many of those today. Just this one wee little one. That's okay. I'm good by that. All right, that is a little juvenile fighting conch. Technically a West Indian fighting conch, but we'll just go with fighting conch. See, broad rib cardita, spotted slipper. What? Okay. Now, I don't normally find like juvenile or subadult Florida cones. I normally find them like full grown. I never even thought about that until I found that one. Huh. Oh my gosh. So that is a little to itty bitty Florida horse conch. And then that white tip, that's going to be the protoconch. So that white thing at top, that's basically what kind of hatches from the egg casing. And then it starts growing its shell. Oh, that's another sharp ribbed drill. Delightful. All right, cool. A little different, much different color than that first one we picked up. The Spiny Jewelbox. I know. Now, I was really curious, like, how the heck does it make those spines? Because it's solid on the inside. Well, as it turns out, and the shell grows about this big, and then it adds on to its shell. As time goes by, it adds on. And the Spiny Jewelbox adds on the spikes as it's adding to its shell. So as it's growing, it's also kind of like coming out, the mantle is coming out and creating those spikes. Now on this one, you can see it kind of like was mid-spike when something happened and the animal became deceased. So that is how they create them. They create the spikes as the shell grows. Huh. So any of the ornamental snails that have like stuff going on the outside, the shell adds that as they build their shell, or the snail adds it as they build their shell. I hope that made sense. If not, let me know below and I'll maybe dive into that a little further in maybe a separate video or something. But I thought that was fascinating. All right, here is a lace murex, also with its protoconch, or its little baby, that pink part at the very top of the shell. That's like the baby part of the shell, but that is a lace murex, and so is this one. This one's a little more lacy though. Yeah, that one, pretty. So you can clearly see why they're called lace murex. Kind of like a very ornamental. Isn't that awesome? Is that beautiful lace murex? Now, I've been to Keewaydin a couple of times. Sometimes I come with the Hemingway shuttle, but today I came with SWFL Shell Guide. Now, she offers guided and unguided tours. You can see me pop on any tour. Like at any time you take one of her tours, I might just pop on. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pop on one this week. So if you want to go to Keewaydin or the 10,000 Islands, check her website for available tour dates. And so my commute home is also pretty swell. Not quite as awesome as the morning, but I am not going to complain. So I did take a little bit of garbage. I mean, like a little bit, 1.4 ounces. But over time, I managed to remove a little over 74 pounds of garbage from our beaches. And Keewaydin was pretty nice to me. So we have the lightning whelk, or the sinistrum shells. We have some of the quahogs. There is a dusky cone, a bubble, banded tulips, that orange one being my favorite. We have Florida cones there, some sunray Venus clams, two of the lace murex. Above that, we have apple murex. We also have the calico clams. We have lettered olives. We have calico scallops, a couple of bay scallops, some tinies of rib cantharus, tinted cantharus, Gulf oyster drill, and an auger, a jingle, Spiny Jewelbox. We have a buttercup lucine, a Florida prickly cockle, and there was also a yellow prickly cockle, some Fighting Conchs, some horse conchs, which are technically not a conch at all. And then my favorites today were the alphabet cones, those two sharp rib drilled, the very orange calico scallop, that giant shark eye, and the Tampa drill. So it's always different. I absolutely love it. And Patreons, I could not do this without your support. Thank you so, so much. And everybody who comes along and comments. I'm over on social media too. I don't I try to spend most of my time over on YouTube, but I do throw some stuff out there on Instagram and Facebook. So I'm over there as well. But if you really want me to dive into stuff, I do recommend that you join me on Patreon. So next week, we're doing something I've never done before. 100% dark at night shelling on Sanibel at low tide. It was pretty cool. So until then, I hope you have yourself a great week, and I will see you again next Sunday.